Welcome everybody. This is the brand new full moon in Taurus live reading, and we'd like to thank everybody who comes along to join us. When you do this, you get an opportunity to have your own card, and of course that becomes a part of the bigger collective energy of the reading. So no doubt whoever's going to watch this video, you'll probably resonate quite deeply with what's going on for all the cards that are drawn. So don't feel that you've missed out somehow. This is still an opportunity to utilize the energy of the cards and know how to find ways to, or teach yourself how to find ways to cope with what's going on energetically with this particular full moon in Taurus. So a little bit of information about the full moon, of course, is usually related to closing off things and endings, but it's also probably an opportunity still to actually recognize that when the moon is full, it's shining light on things that maybe need to be seen, which gives you an opportunity to make change. So it can also be a bit of a beginning once you see what needs to change for you. And the Taurus energy is really beautiful because it's ruled by Venus. Taurus is ruled by Venus. And one of the beautiful things about that is that it's an opportunity to look at where do you nurture yourself, where do you deny yourself the luxuries of life, which Taurus is all about. So probably, yeah, great opportunity to look at that and make the most of it. So, but in this case, what I'm also focusing on with these particular recordings and these particular readings around the full moon is where are you not empowering yourself? Where are you unconsciously disempowering yourself? Because what I'm finding with the work I do is that I'm noticing how many people are using negative language unconsciously to undermine themselves, and I don't even realize they're doing it. So your opportunity here is to have a card drawn for you, and this enables you to see what you're doing to yourself unconsciously so that you can address it, and hence with the full moon shine light on it, and it enables you to make better choices and better decisions for yourself. So I am going to draw a generic card for everybody, and then for those who join us, they are going to get their own card as well. So this is all pretty exciting because I'm shaking it up a little bit. And, you know, Taurus isn't the time for shaking up things, but then maybe it is. Maybe it's at the full moon shaking things up and making changes. So I'm going to draw a card, which is for the collective, but yeah, this is, oh, gorgeous. Here we are. Guidance. Okay. Where do we not listen to ourselves? Where do we not listen to our inner voice, to our own guidance, to recognizing that we know the truth, we know our own truth, and, you know, we don't listen. And so we're being reminded with this particular card, this is for everybody, with this particular card, this is an opportunity for you to start to listen to your own guidance and trust your own truth. This is really, really powerful. So I'm going to leave this card for the moment, so we can always come back to it. And I'll also, I'm just thinking now that what I'll do is I'll take a photograph of this and post it up on the video as well, so that we can be reminded of which cards are coming up for everybody. Okay, so now we're an opportunity to unmute everybody, and I shall do that because it'll be easier. And so we have with us today Jody Gunn. Jody, thank you so much for joining us. Any comments?
Welcome, Priscilla. You know I love all of these live readings.
Thank you. Yes, I know.
Yeah, I just love all your live readings, and guidance is just perfect. Guidance is just exactly what has been coming up for me this last week. And it's interesting, I did a meditation last night, a new one, and I actually met two spirit guides that I had not ever had contact with before, had never been in touch with before, and it was really cool. So,
wow.
Yeah,
oh,
very, very interesting that card has come up today, of course.
How perfect is that? How perfect is that? Cool. Okay then, so I'm just going to tune in for a moment because we're going to draw you a card, and this will be a card for you to see what's going on for you more personally. Okay. And of course, as I said earlier, to whoever's going to be watching the video, if you don't make it to the video to have your own card drawn, chances are you'll resonate with the cards that are drawn regardless, because it's just the way of the world and the way of energy. Because we are one. We are all connected and we are one. Oh, you're going to love this, Jody. This is hysterical. Past lives.
Oh,
Oh,
that
wow.
was, what was that? The new moon one from 6 weeks ago or something, or 2 weeks ago? No, 6 weeks ago. It must be. Same card.
It was. Yes, it was. It was. That's so true. It was. That's quite cool. So what I'm getting with this particular card for you is that there's actually lots of lessons to be learned from your past lives. And the wisdom that comes through, you know, and this can be past lives that are related to the DNA work that I know you do with your family tree of beliefs work. And it's like there's these messages that you already innately know, and there's times when you don't listen to those messages because it's easy to dismiss them as fanciful. But there's some really deep messages, and there's a lot of innate wisdom that's already within you as a result of holding the memory that you do with your family messages. So, and yeah, this is really powerful. So please listen. Yeah, really listen to the messages that you get, because they're already there. You already know this information, and it's now a case of, you know, really applying what you get and not going, going outside yourself is going to be less and less relevant. This is you standing in your power because you innately hold that wisdom. Does that make sense?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Ah.
It freaks me out all the time, but it's always pretty beautiful. It's always good. Last night I drew a card of my own, and it was called Listening for Truth. And it's funny. I haven't drawn a card for weeks myself, and so to get that one and this one together, as well as the guidance, to me it's all about the same thing. It's all about tuning into me. But this past lives one, I think right now too, it's like understanding what you said about the lessons of the past lives. Like sometimes we tend to focus on the things that we want to release from past lives, the things that are holding us back. But you're saying here there's wisdom in it, there's good stuff, there's things that we can learn from all of those past lives. And I probably forget about some of that. So yeah, that's brilliant. That's
That's fantastic.
That's a lovely reminder. Thank you very much, Precious.
My pleasure, Joyous. And for those who are watching this video, Jody and I have been working together as a support network for each other with someone else, and we have these lovely names for each other. And so I'm Precious Priscilla. We have Joyous Jody, and we have another beautiful member to our little collective as well. So thank you so much, Jody, for joining us today. And I love the cards that have been drawn, because as I said earlier, you know, there's the collective card, but the card for you is really relevant for everybody as well. There's so much information. So the message here for the collective is guidance, to listen to your guidance. And also just be aware that there's a whole story that goes on within us that, you know, where we don't listen to ourselves. And then I've just drawn a card for Jody, and Jody's card was about past lives. So a little bit of repeating here, but this is also to bring you up to speed, Tara. The past lives is about listening to our own wisdom. You know, this was specifically Jody's card, but I know that it relates to most people. We actually hold a lot of innate wisdom in our DNA, and we need to remember that, rather than just remember that, you know, as Jody pointed out a moment ago, this isn't about switching off and saying, I'm releasing my past lives. It's about remembering the power that we carry with us from those old messages and the DNA. So, okay, so welcome to the first live reading for the full moon, Tara. I'm really glad that you've been able to make it along with us. So are you ready for your card? All righty. Okay. So how have you been, Tara? Are you well?
I am well, yes. The first two cards you were showing there was guidance and past lives. And I've just come from a 4-hour session with my numerology teacher.
Wow.
Where he did my chart for me, even though he's trained me how to do charts. He did mine for me. So I got his interpretation, and then a 3-hour past life regression, which was interesting. So perfect as always.
You made it then. Holy moly, that's
well, I've just come zooming in. Like, oh, I had stopped for dinner and I was like, oh, I could actually just make her her call. So
oh, welcome. I'm so glad you did. It's fantastic and it's gorgeous to have you here. So alrighty, so we'll just take a moment, we'll drop in and we'll draw you a card too. So, and also too, the focus of these readings on the full moon is where you're not empowering yourself, where you may be unwittingly disempowering yourself. Okay, so this is all about sovereignty and standing.
Oh, that's one of my words.
One of your words.
Yes.
Yeah, sovereignty is important. It's about understanding self-power, you know, personal power, and knowing what it really means and being humble with it as well. It's got to have some humility. It's not about lording it over other people. You know, it's important. So, okay, let's draw you a card. This is beautiful. You see it? Called understanding.
I can read the words. I can't see the image very well, but understanding.
Okay, there's the top.
Yes.
And then coming up to there's the bottom. So fundamentally, it is a bird who doesn't realize that its cage is open, that it can fly out. So understanding in this case is recognizing where you unwittingly hold yourself back by structures you think are there to support you and protect you, but actually you're using them as a crutch, you know, and they're stopping you. It's like you're allowing them to stop you from making stronger or more powerful decisions for yourself because you're so used to having them there, you think you can't function without them. But in actual fact, you're not standing in your own truth with it. And as you can see, the other birds are flying away and you're thinking, how come I'm not out there with them? It's because you're actually using these old structures to keep you in place and you're not seeing how you can be free of them, you know. So this is the learning, is to recognize and have a look at what structures you have in place that have served you very well. There's no doubt about them. This is not about, it's not about ripping away things just for the sake of ripping them away. You know, they actually have served you and you put them in place, and they were put in place to protect you and to, you know, to give you a foundation. But in some cases now you'll find that they're not relevant anymore, but you've had them there for so long that you're not even seeing that they're hindering you because it's so comfortable. And that's a challenge. That's a really big one. And there's another one. Jodie's just had some insights. I can see her face. Sparkly little numbers coming up or going off in your head, I can tell, Jodie.
Yeah, ping ping.
Oh, classic. So how does that go for you, Tara? Is any of that making sense? Or
I think it's good fodder to reflect on. There's nothing sort of coming up immediately. But I you know, the cards don't lie, so there's something there.
There is something there, and as I was saying, you know, it's something that you're so comfortable with because it's been there for a purpose. But when you start to have a good look at it, you'll be able to start to see what is it that's actually not serving you anymore, you know. And yeah, they've been there to you know, for a reason, but they can go now. And that's a brilliant thing, because that's you stepping into your power, saying, I've loved this, I've really appreciated it, but now it actually doesn't, it's not needed, and it doesn't necessarily help me in the same way that it did in the past. And I think you're right, sometimes it takes reflection to recognize what those things are, because what we have around us we're so comfortable with, you know, and it's given us that support and that structure. So I think that's really cool. So excellent. Wow. Thank you so much for joining us. And have you anything else that you'd like to share, Tara, while you're here?
No, not at the moment.
Just asking. Oh, look at your big map behind your head. Where are you going?
Oh, that's my mum brought me that. It's a map of everywhere I've been.
Oh, sweet.
Yes. But it's almost winter here already, so I haven't been, after 10 years basically in and or around Queensland, I haven't been to the beach in 16 months. So Sunday I'm headed to the Atlantic coast.
Oh, how wonderful. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, before winter settles in for sure.
That's excellent. That is so cool. I'm really pleased to hear that for you. Brilliant. So I actually went for an early morning swim today too, because I found that if I go for a swim and lie on the beach first thing in the morning, it's actually helping me set me up for the day. And if I don't do it by probably midday or early afternoon, I'm losing my energy. So I've got to find my happy balance to go somewhere and go for a swim. So welcome, Joe. We've just had a new member join us, Joe Bailau. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to unmute you, Joe, because we're actually getting close to towards the end of the call. And I'm just going to ask you, I'm going to draw you a card. So we'll move on to Joe. And thank you for making it. It's lovely. So
thank you. Sorry for being late. I've been out doing my own equivalent of your lying on the beach. I've been dancing this morning and just got home.
Fantastic. That's gorgeous. Joe. Okay, Joe, this is gorgeous. This is maturity. So this is a really beautiful card. For me, this is showing you that there's a part of you that knows you need to stand in your maturity, and there's a part of you that wants to run away from it. You know, as it's like, no, I don't want to be a grown up. But the more you stand in your maturity, the more you're going to be able to be really present to what you need to do in your life, because you have that depth of maturity. But there's times when it's frustrating and you feel like you're just locking yourself down, but you're not. You're actually giving yourself, when you dismiss that and you just want to do the big, I just want to play and have fun, you're missing the point of the maturity. The maturity itself will actually, you can have lots of fun with your maturity as well. It's not about, dismissing it and running away from it, and it's not to dismiss your inner child either, because if you have a good look at the card, I'm just going to show it up to the color. There's actually lots of beautiful color and vibrancy in this maturity. So it's about recognizing that standing in maturity doesn't mean you have to give yourself up. Does that make sense? You don't have to give away all parts of you. It's just recognizing that maturity can actually encompass all of you and all those aspects of yourself. It's quite a beautiful card here. So in terms of where you disempower yourself when you don't stand in your maturity and your strength and your natural wisdom. Okay, this is what I'm getting for you here. Okay, so that's what this one is about for you. Alrighty.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you.
My pleasure. So any comments? Anything you want to share?
It does resonate on some level. I feel, very much like the last few weeks I have been maturing into myself. And it's funny, you know that my parents had been visiting recently as well, and then somehow the childlike behavior returns. You get back into the old patterns of being, and having my home back to normal again has allowed me to flourish again and come back into my own. And I'm really feeling that, sensing that. And so I will look into what you've said about the maturity, and particularly earlier what you said about the collective card of guidance, and draw from that to really look within and trust. Trust that I have all that I need.
Absolutely. Oh, that's beautiful. That's really beautiful. Excellent. So Cara, would you like a card? Yes, please. I'm going to unmute you.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's totally cool. Okay, so Cara is one of my very dear friends from Maui. So thank you so much for joining me. It's very exciting. Tara's in Indiana, and Jodie's in the south of Australia in Melbourne, and Joe is in Brisbane. So we have this lovely That's
intergalactic.
I just read a new word. An international collective. The intercollective. Okay, so we'll draw a card for Cara and then we'll have to wind it up because I have half an hour on this thing. Oh my God, this is huge. All right, Thunderbolt. Okay. This is a powerful card to recognize that there's a lot of changes coming. And
Amen.
the thing about standing in your power with this one and being in your strength is to watch what's going on around you and become the witness. You know, don't try to interact or engage too much, because that's when you're going to, you know, try and fight fire with fire, and it's not going to work. Okay, so when this stuff goes on around you, when these old structures are changing around you, the standing in your strength will literally be to learn to be the witness and to just fight, you know, but and you might want to fire off and make lots of, you know, like get angry and fire your words out. The challenge will be to stand in your power and just watch someone go off and not respond.
I wrote stay calm.
Yeah, it is about staying as calm as you know how. And even if you have to step away and say, I need to think about this for a moment. And then, you know, but be the witness, because what you're watching is an old way of self, because you'll feel that old part of you rising up and wanting to flash off and just, you know, fight the fire with fire, but it actually won't serve the situation. It won't serve you, and it won't serve the part of you that needs to step into your power, because it means you've gone straight down to their level. You're functioning from their vibration, and it's just going to disempower you completely to come at them, you know, because you might want to rage and all the rest of it, but that's not going to serve you in the bigger picture. And that's what this is all about. So this is your full moon reading for Taurus. So wow, excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you. You got anything you'd like to share?
Recently, that just came to pass. Living in that thunderbolt, I recognized in the moment of popping off, as you would say, that it had no bearing on who I am and where my future is, and that it didn't serve me in any way, shape, or form, and that lowering myself to anybody else's level was old behavior. So yeah, I recognize that completely.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. Excellent. That's cool. Okay. Well, I'd like to thank everybody for coming along today and joining in the call. And just so you all are aware, this is recorded and this will go up on my website. So yes, thank you very much for participating. And I'll just wriggle in the chair here. I suddenly just got my ants in my pants. Really excited. So thank you so much, everybody. It's very exciting. This is the first full moon live reading, and having your own card drawn, I think it's really exciting that you've all come along to join me. And I'll do it again for the new moon, and I'll be doing it again for the full moon. So it's going to be every 2 weeks. I'll do the same thing. So if you're in a position to join us dead on 11 a.m. Australian time, please do try to do that. Otherwise, you know, of course, if you join up, we'll just, you'll be on mute so that it just doesn't, the dinging doesn't go off on the phone, on the computer and in the recording. So we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time. And the next new moon is going to be in Scorpio. So anyone with a Scorpio in their chart, this is going to be pretty powerful for you. So, you know, bear that in mind, something to think about. So thank you very much, everybody. And yeah, we'll see you again in 2 weeks. Thanks, everyone.
Aloha.
Bye.